missed half my conversation.
I was like, I don't think we're on
Rufus lied to me. I said, "Are we on?" He goes, "Yeah."
I think he meant the intro.
Well,
Yeah, the intro's on.
Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to Friday, September 29th, 2017, DVTV in Space, from Spayse.
Yes.
So it's just me and Israel and Brandy here today. And
that's all you need.
What else do you need?
Who needs Miss Pritchett? She's always busy anyway doing things.
Busy Brad.
Yes.
So we got a lot to talk about, though, and we're going to start out talking about what's going on this weekend and this next week.
Can I say, before we start getting into the gay agenda, you know, there's something about when you start opening up the paper and you start seeing a lot of Halloween things.
I know,
because you know
it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, it feels good now. You
the gay holy days.
Yes,
because you feel that summer's gone now for the year, and now you can smell the little candy corns,
the pumpkin spice,
the pumpkin spice, everything. It's like, so when I was going through the paper, I'm like, look, Halloween this, Halloween that. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, good. Well, we're all happy that Israel is happy for Halloween.
Yeah,
means we can all get our cute little sweaters and start wearing those, right?
Yeah, but we still live in Texas, so it's not gonna, it doesn't get too
true.
fall.
We can only wear the sweaters inside in the air conditioner.
In the air conditioner, yeah.
Yes. But let's talk about the gay agenda, y'all. There's a lot of stuff going on this week and in the coming weeks. This weekend, one of the things that's happening, I think it's Saturday night, is the Fur Ball.
Yes,
That's right. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, benefits SPCA.
Great title.
That is kind of it is a very high end, kind of a black tie gala kind of thing for the SPCA. I think they've raised a lot of money.
I love that.
So it is. We spoke of holy days. This is Rosh Hashanah was last week. This is Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
This is Yom Kippur. It is. You don't say Happy Yom Kippur because Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement. Happy Atoning. So, Congregation Beth El Banah is having services tonight.
Look at you being all politically correct about all these things and knowing how to say it.
I work with David Taffet. He explains these things to me.
True.
So those are all going on. Teen Pride is the 30th, which is tomorrow. Saturday the 30th, that's in Fort Worth at Celebration Community Church. Teen Pride.
And their allies, right? And the people who support them.
Yeah, right.
Financially support them.
And Sunday at the newly renamed Oaklawn Park, we have Life Walk.
So it's like official and everything? It's Oaklawn
Did they
Park?
rename it?
It's temporarily named Oaklawn Park. They're going to talk about.
Keep it.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's the original
They
name.
probably will.
Yeah, I think they just need to keep it.
Nice.
Yeah, Life Walk steps off at 1:00. That benefits Prism Health, used to be AIDS Arms, and there are other partner agencies too. One of those, I believe, is...
Did AIDS Arms change their name?
Yeah, it's called Prism Health.
Oh, I did not know
girl,
that.
you were months.
I guess so. This is what happens when you leave the resource center. You just kind of lose touch with all the other nonprofit.
But then here's the big thing coming up on the next week. Starting on the 5th is Dallas Southern Pride. That is Dallas's Black Pride celebration, and it is one of the largest in the country. They always manage to have just a huge turnout. They're expecting something like 5,000 people.
That's where the cover comes in, right? Because
That's
she's
the
performing
cover.
there.
Remy Ma, Grammy Award winning.
Super awesome. And I think a few years back they had Cardi B, who now just, blew up and is the #1 top, female, first female rapper to be solo and #1 Billboard since Lauryn Hill. So like they've had some really great artists.
Last year was Brandy.
Yeah, they've
Not
had
you,
some,
Brandy, but the other
Brandy. I don't sing.
Which would have been just as fabulous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But so it starts on Wednesday the 4th with a pre-Pride party at Marty's. There's an opening reception Thursday, starting at 7:30 at Tequila's on Composite Drive. Usually they have the Mr. and Miss Dallas Southern Pride. This year, because there's been so much loss, so much that's gone on, they chose instead to have the Mr. and Miss Dallas Southern Pride review, where they're going to bring in some of everybody's favorite entertainers. They're going to do a show to raise money. They're going to help, Abounding Prosperity is one of the sponsors, and they had that arson. So they're going to help with that. And, people who've been impacted by the disaster this year, they're gonna change it and make it kind of a benefit fundraising kind of thing for that.
That's very nice.
I love that.
That is at Tequila's on Thursday night. Starts at 9. Then the State Fair Classic Black Pride pre-party is on Friday at Marty's. After hours at Club Babylon.
Oh, that
Saturday.
reminds me of Queer as Folk.
Yeah.
Club Babylon. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Saturday is the big event, Dallas Southern Pride Pool Party. That's where Remy Ma will be performing, and
That's
I think
awesome.
Fly Young Red is the other performer's name. They, like you said, they have a lot of big people.
Yeah, they do.
And they have an Octane Pride Mega Party that night.
Oh wow, there's like a whole schedule.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Sunday they have the Black Pride Unity Barbecue. You get free food and music, and that is in Tennyson Park on East Grand Avenue. That's what it says here. Sunday night lights, Pride Edition at Tequila's, but then also on Sunday from 6 to 11 p.m. down at the Cedar Canyon Dude Ranch, they Father Larry Ebony from the House of Ebony presents his annual 24 karat gold. This party this year, it's 24 karat gold, the green edition. So they are having a ball
I love it.
Nice.
at the Dude Ranch, and I got a chance to talk very briefly with Father Larry, and we have an interview with him on page 10 this week. Very interesting. He started House of Ebony in 1978 in New York.
Oh wow, it
So
was a
it's-
year after I was born.
It's one of the it's one of the largest ball houses around.
I mean
and
95. Sorry, that was
Brandy
ages
just
later.
she added wrong. Math.
I totally math is not my thing.
We were
I'm a
like
writer.
2.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's a very interesting story, and I'm hoping that one of my premier freelance writers for Dallas Voice is going to be doing something about the ballroom house scene in Dallas.
And I'm actually really, I'm really excited. And I think I don't know anything about the ball community here in Dallas, and I've been wanting to learn. So when Tammy approached me with this article, I was like, yeah, I'll write it, because this gives me an opportunity to support my friends and the ball community in a whole different side of performing, like drag performing.
Now, when you say the ball community, are you saying like that community, like in New York, that was documented in Paris is Burning?
houses,
That
yeah.
type.
Yeah.
I didn't know Dallas had one.
I didn't either. There's also another really great documentary. I know people always go back to Paris is Burning, but there's a documentary called How Do I Look? And that's also about the ball community as well. So I think
there's
that's
a
also
new one too. Father Larry was telling me that there's been an evolution over the years, through the 80s, and it started out as people's as family.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't go home and tell mom and dad I'm gay, and we didn't have the mama bears taking care of the trans babies like we have now. So you had these families, they created these, and the drag balls, I was looking it up, man, it goes back to 1800s.
Yeah.
Drag balls. But then it says, a lot of the drag balls then and in the 1920s and, a little bit later were very much dominated by white gay men. Mm-hmm. And the blacks and people of color were not given much of an opportunity to participate. And they never won the pageants and things like this. So they started their own and these houses.
And I know here
I think
recently,
House of LaBeija was the first.
Yeah.
Ooh, LaBeija. I know here recently, Rufus
Shannon
Rufus, Nathan.
Had asked me. I guess you were editing like one of the drag shows that you had shot, and he asked me, so why do they call it drag? And so I was like, ooh, an opportunity to educate. So I told him about how back in the day, women weren't allowed to be on stage at all when they were performing, and it stood for dressed as a girl.
Actually,
or something like that.
There's that actually is a fallacy, because acronyms didn't really come into
She
play
said
until
phallus.
later.
I'll drink to that.
I totally just lost my train of thought.
So then what? So what's the?
I'm still researching, but
Okay.
I'm researching that because
I'm still researching, but that's wrong.
No. I'm saying that there is cause for concern that is not the right attribution.
I would love to know the
of
real
drag, yeah.
reason.
But I'll
Yeah.
come back to you on that.
I'm wondering, you look back and you look at how all these things started, and you get all these different, and I'm thinking, snowflake, that term snowflake, there's a lot of back and forth about, what that actually meant. But I think just it didn't necessarily all come from the same place.
Yeah.
Maybe all of it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
To
that's
some degree.
Yeah.
So, but what was I saying?
I'll return. I don't know. You said phallus.
Only because you did. But
Oh no, but we were talking about the Dallas ball scene
Yeah.
and that
Oh,
you might cover it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what-
super excited about
well,
it.
and Larry Ebony started House of Ebony in Brooklyn, and then he moved here because his sister, his biological sister, lived here.
Oh.
I believe as a pastor is what she told me.
Wow.
What he told me.
Oh, this makes me really excited. Like,
It's going to be very
in the thick of
it's
it.
going to be very interesting. And while we're talking about that, let me point out something that I'd like for people to know. A young man named Archie David Jackson, but everybody knew him as Nikki Foster, the 10 Dancing Toes. Was that what they call? Known in the LGBT community as the 10 Dancing Toes of Nikki Foster, and was a very popular entertainer here. And Nikki passed away recently, and there are funeral services Tuesday at 11 at Cornerstone Baptist Church. So I believe I'm speaking with Betty Neal, who is a good friend who's very, very close to Nikki, and I think they may be going to try and have a benefit to help
pay
the family
for
for some of the deals. So we'll pay attention to that. And talking about the balls and the houses and the how we make our own family. So,
yes, it's true.
There was a video that I liked as a kid, but I didn't appreciate until I was older. Remember the artist Jody Watley?
Oh yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Oh yes.
Her second song wasn't as big of a hit. It's called Still a Thrill, but she has one of the people from that originated from the ball scene, I think in New York. I forgot his name, but it's just her and him in this big, beautiful building in the video, and he's doing like early voguing.
Not early voguing. That is voguing.
Yeah, that is voguing. Yeah,
voguing. And it wasn't until here, like in the last year, that I went back just to watch it because I remember watching it as a kid and I just didn't get it.
I think that was Willie Ninja.
I want to say it was
Possibly.
really
I believe
Ninja
it was
because
Willie
he was
Ninja.
one of the. I think he was the first to be in like.
Yeah.
He was one of the stars of Paris is Burning. He went on the tour
Yeah.
with Jenny Livingston, so I had a chance to meet them.
So for those of
when
you
they
who
were
want a
in
nice
school.
little old school lesson, go and watch Jody Watley's Still a Thrill video. Amazing. Fantastic.
And one of the things I was going to say, we were talking about the different, everybody talks about Paris is Burning because it was so popular, and obviously Madonna found voguing there and made her video, and then the other documentary that you mentioned.
How Do I Look? And also, if you're going to watch Paris is Burning, you need to read Bell Hooks's side. And she has an essay, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's by Bell Hooks, but she talks about why that is not necessarily the best representation of the ball community.
There is another recent movie. Apparently, the ballroom culture, the ball culture, house culture has evolved, and they call it the Kiki scene now.
Really?
Yeah, and there is a movie
Called the Kiki
I
scene
think
coming out?
Kiki something. I can't remember, but
Ooh, I'm gonna
there
watch
is a
it.
movie.
Yeah.
And it has to do with Kiki, and it's an evolution. It's the young people are getting back kind of to the roots. Is
That's
what
kind of, yeah.
Larry Ebony said to me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of true with like anything like queer. Like, they're going back to the roots and reclaiming queer. Like, I feel like that's just kind of the energy of millennials.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so we're being beeped at. We're going to take a break. During the break, there's going to be a video, a public service announcement video. And you guys, please hang on, watch that video, and we're going to talk about it when we get back, okay?
We should talk about the Johnson & Johnson announcement.
Woo! And we are back. Thank you, Jesus. That means Israel won't sing right now. But
I was doing my best Mariah Carey.
Oh Lord, that's probably her. That was probably her best Mariah Carey.
Oh, that was good, Tammy.
Girl, she's coming after me now, isn't she?
Yeah.
It's outside. During that first break, you guys watched a public service announcement, and it was about gay blood. You guys didn't get to see it.
I watched a little bit, but I couldn't hear it.
The video shows, drawing blood, and they get these bags of blood, and they have all these bags of blood in a big thing, and they take it outside and dump it because it's gay blood. And it's like gay blood does not exist, but discrimination does. That PSA, public service announcement, is from an organization called Blood Equality. And this is going to lead into like this earth-shattering stuff that you're telling me about. Let's talk about this first. For more than 30 years, gay and bisexual men, every gay and bisexual man, anybody who told them that they were gay and bisexual, had been completely banned from donating blood. Right? Y'all know that.
Yeah.
Well, then last year, we're going to change it and we're going to make it better. And gay and bisexual men who have not had sex for a whole 12 months, for a whole year, then you can donate blood. Like, okay, still the same thing, a lifetime ban, right? That was December 2015. So it was just going on 2 years ago. So for a whole year, that's not reasonable. And they're saying that's not scientific. This is what they have to say. More than 615,000 pints of blood are turned away annually because the donor is gay or bi. Blood that could help to save the lives of 8 million people annually, according to the Williams Institute. The ban reinforces negative stereotypes about gay and bi people, especially the idea that AIDS is a gay disease.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, well, women get AIDS. Women are HIV positive and AIDS. Yeah, I mean,
a promiscuous woman that is,
or straight man, or anybody,
or drug.
They can donate because they're not gay or bi.
It supports the false perception that heterosexual people are at low risk for HIV infection.
Yeah.
All right. It just doesn't make sense, and it really doesn't. The deferral period set for 1 year. FDA argues that there isn't sufficient data to determine whether a deferral policy of less than a year would increase risk to the blood supply. But other countries like Spain and Italy don't have a 1 year deferral. FDA also says that the gay community may spread a new and undiscovered and infectious disease.
It's always our fault.
Oh, God. Seriously.
Yeah, the hurricanes were our fault.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, that and the
And
according to Pat Robertson.
The committee. Shh. That's my committee. Okay, so how is the blood tested? Every sample of blood is screened using 2 different tests to ensure the blood is safe. Tests now allow for detection of HIV within 7 to 10 days of infection. Before that took a while.
Yeah.
And before there was an antibody test, and your body had to develop antibodies to the virus before it tested positive, right? And they have new and better tests. The latest technology, the NAT detects viral genes themselves rather than antibodies or viral proteins. Sorry, I just got a text. Allows for earlier detection. With sophisticated testing, FDA estimates the risk of HIV infection from a blood transfusion is about 1 in 1.47 million. And yet, gay and bi men are not allowed. So that's Blood Equality has started this new effort, this new push to get that ban lifted. And in a time like now, when we have so many, when we have had so many disasters, one right after the other, and people will die without blood, but they won't take your blood, and it's just silly. So.
How long has this organization been around?
It's new.
I
haven't heard of them. I just heard of them this past week.
Okay.
And we, the National LGBT Media Association, had sent this information around and sent this video around. So we wanted to share it and let people watch it. And maybe you guys, if you'll go, it's on our website, or it's on their website. It will be on our website. And if you guys would go and share that and kind of help spread the word, that'd be great. But here's the big deal that you're talking about. And I've not heard this, and I'm horrified that I haven't heard it, but tell me.
I was watching The View, and the first thing that they talked about after they walked down, they sat at the table, they said, we have big news. Whoopi, you just got back from a trip. I don't know if it was in Australia or what, because Hugh Jackman was on stage, but she said, there was a major announcement and I spoke on it, and they were saying, Whoopi, you should run for president because of how you handled this, and it was just so amazing. And I was like, okay, I'm just having my coffee in the morning. And then
Was this today?
Yes, but I watch it on Hulu, so it could have been yesterday or the day before.
Got it, okay.
But it's very recent.
Okay.
And so she was on there, and they were talking about some type of vaccine or something that had to do with HIV and AIDS. And so I actually found, Johnson & Johnson representative, probably one of the CEOs or something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He came out on stage, and he said, for the past 10 years, we have been working on an HIV vaccine using an innovative technology platform, the same technology we are using to make vaccines for Ebola and Zika. This was Paul Stoffels, Chief Scientific Officer at Johnson & Johnson. Okay. In early stage clinical studies, we have seen 100% immune response in 350 healthy volunteers who participated in the study.
Wow.
100%. Wow. Today, we are thrilled to announce for the first time that we are going into large scale efficacy, is that the right word? Testing for the vaccine in humans, he announced to cheers and applause. As a scientist and a physician, I can tell you this vaccine holds the promise of groundbreaking development. We all know that science is unpredictable, but these results make me more optimistic than ever that we will get to a vaccine in our lifetime and prevent people from contracting HIV forever.
I just got teary-eyed.
I know, my God. I can't even believe that this hasn't been every headline everywhere.
I know why.
What is wrong with us?
What's the question? Yeah, that's the question.
Well, I think it's because they've noticed that in everything that they've tested, just not humans yet. So they don't want to get everyone to jump the gun.
We're about to start
testing
testing
in humans.
Okay.
Well, they've already started. Didn't they say in 350?
Yeah, 350.
And it was 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Efficient.
Now they're going to expand.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
I don't even know what to say.
An AIDS-free generation.
Yeah.
Like the possibility that we could see that in our lifetime it's blows
not something I ever expected.
No.
It makes me think of the very end of Lifetime Companion, where they're
Long-time companion?
Long-time companion.
Okay.
They're on the beach and his
Yes.
boyfriend's about to die, and he's imagining the day when they cured it, and everyone
I can't watch the movie anymore.
Yeah.
is running through the beach and they're celebrating.
All of the people that had died, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And think about all of the people that would be walking down my beach. Who's walking down your beach with you in that scene?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many have we lost?
Wow.
I have a cousin who died.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's not counting all of the people who have been family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the moment I stopped watching The View, I immediately went to the internet and I just did Johnson & Johnson, HIV, and then all these articles everywhere. And I'm like, oh my, I want to read all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm just kind of blown away.
Yeah.
I am too. And I can't believe, I read the news. I'm on the
Yeah,
news.
you
I
are
am
the news. Yeah.
But I'm sitting here watching you guys finish up your show. I'm reading news, and
When
I'm
you
not
came
seeing
in,
anything.
I thought you were going to say we have to talk about this, and then when you didn't, I'm like, maybe she doesn't know. Let me ask her during break.
I am shell shocked with it right now. The idea of it is.
I think it happened like Wednesday or Thursday, that announcement. So maybe it'll be all over everything and you can have it in next week's paper
But I would think that it would be like
find
all
it and
over.
put it online now.
Yeah, like I would think that kind of announcement would be everywhere. Like every, LGBTQ, media source and every mainstream media source would be talking about it.
Yes.
Well, outside of the Dallas Voice, I also go to queerty.com and they had it on there too.
They did.
So I'm like, okay, this is the thing now.
Okay.
So I was like,
yeah, because once you see it like you start going, it's really happening. You see it like
we gotta, this is unbelievable. What would it really mean? How would it change our lives?
And how would it
change our community?
How would it change the community? How expensive is it going to be? How accessible is it going to be? Who is it going to be accessible to? Like, there's so many questions.
Well, just knowing that it's from Johnson & Johnson, it gives me a lot of confidence because they are so huge that they are like a mainstream company.
Yeah.
They're not this little tiny mom and pop shop that's going to say, all right, it's going to be, $50,000 for an injection. It's going.
Yeah, but they have.
But no.
But they have shareholders, and they, so it's like, that's my question. I mean,
then we have to talk about healthcare reform.
Yeah, so how is that going to affect?
I know people. You get a chronic disease, and it's like I have to decide on whether I'm going to take this medication, or whether, I'm going to bankrupt my family to pay for this medication or just do without.
Yeah.
And then also the religion aspect. What are the religious people going to say? This might be just like my movie.
I was going to say.
Yeah, just
no, you're meant to, that was God's punishment and now you're trying to change it. That's not his will. You just don't know what's going to happen, but
yeah.
It's amazing.
What if this is oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm left without words. That's unreal. I think we're all left without words for a second.
I was. When I was watching it, I was just like,
how is this going to change
my entire adult life? I came in, thank God I came in after the extremeness of the 80s with the crisis, but it was still there. In 93 is when I came to Dallas. So it's been a part of my entire adult life of it being there. You know?
I remember Ronald Reagan, I remember all of that. Growing up, I remember all of this hate and
it's been part of your life, all your life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Unreal. Oh, well, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. Y'all watch for Pet of the Month. So, here you go.
Hi, I'm Maddie with the SPCA of Texas, and I'm here with Athena for our Pet of the Month. Athena is a 7-year-old pit bull mix. She weighs about 58 pounds. She came to us earlier this year when she was surrendered because our previous owners didn't have enough time for her. She's super sweet, loving, is an all-around good family pet. She does well in the car, likes to go on walks, really just likes to cuddle. If you're looking for just a dog to hang out with, she's the one for you. She has been spayed, microchipped, and is up to date on all of her vaccinations. Her adoption fee is only $25. So if you want to come meet her, you can come to the Jan Reese Jones Animal Care Center in West Dallas and come meet her today.
Are we
timer on?
We are back. We don't have a timer on. We're not paying attention. We're
Just being sloppy.
talking mess.
Talking mess and dogs.
Yes, and dogs. That was Athena. Athena's very sweet, y'all. There's so many puppies right now. All these little puppies out there, and all these little floppy ears, and they're very cute. So, we were talking about the HIV vaccine from Johnson & Johnson, which is just stunning news. And it's hard to think about changing the subject and talking about anything else, but there are other things we do want to talk about. And one of the things I want to talk about is Puerto Rico and the situation in Puerto Rico. Over the summer, I was at an event for belly dancers. Imagine that. And I met this young woman from Puerto Rico. Her name is Diana Soto. She's an amazing dancer. Just loved getting to watch her dance. And then we, hooked up friends on Facebook and all this stuff. And I've been watching all of her posts about, since Maria hit, and it was always like, she's been like, oh, it's hard, it's bad. There's a lot of, the wind is blowing this much, but we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Our home is okay, or this was damaged, but we're going to make it. We're going to be okay. And then last night I saw this post, and it's a long, drawn-out post, and she said for the first time since the storm, she had an opportunity to actually get uninterrupted internet access, and she sat down and started finding out how badly the rest of the island was damaged. But all of the political bullshit, absolute bullshit, that's being the Jones Act. They won't lift the Jones Act, and because apparently Trump said, "Oh, I can't lift that. My people in the transportation industry, people I know in there, they don't want to lift that." The Jones Act has to do with who is allowed to bring supplies in.
Didn't he lift that though?
For 10
eventually?
days.
Oh,
there's a limit. I understand that. He said, "Okay, well, we're going to lift it, but only for this many days." And it's going to take a while because it's an island.
It's an island and it's ocean water and
Big
it's
water.
deep. Big water.
Ocean
Bigly.
water.
Yeah.
He actually said it's big water. It's hard to get.
Yeah, he said big water.
Yeah, and then he blamed it. He kind of like blamed everything on the people of Puerto Rico by saying, "Well, they already had bad infrastructure and they owe all these banks all this money." And it comes out, one of the reasons the people of Puerto Rico owns is him because he defaulted on something to do with a golf course. Oh my God!
It's privileged at it. It's privilege at its best, and him just being so disconnected to the people
that aren't white.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
like him, and rich.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I mean, these people, and Diana said in her post that she had not seen available drinkable water in 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
These people don't have food. They don't have water to drink.
Yeah.
They don't have, if they have no electricity, but some of them have generators, but they're running out of fuel to run the generators. And here's one of the things that's horrifying to me is a lot of this stuff is there. It's in the ports. There's water, there's food. These things that they need are there, but they don't have any way to get it from there to the people that need it. What the hell?
And the fact that Mark Cuban lent JJ Barea his, private jet so they could fly stuff over there. J-Lo and Mark Anthony are joining forces so they can, send aid over there. And then Beyonce dropped the Mi Gente. All of these people are doing what they can.
Except our president.
Except the person who...
The government.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are... Puerto Rico is not a foreign country. These are American citizens.
Yeah, they're
I really
Americans.
don't think he knew that.
I don't think he
president.
knew. I don't think
I
he
wonder
knew
if
that
he
either.
understood it was a
I
damn
don't think half
island.
America knew that.
So, and it's just, it's like you said, it's privilege.
It's privilege. It's
at
just,
its worst.
And I am glad that J-Lo did come out and she did a video. She didn't just submit something like and do a press statement. I mean, she did a video and just really, reacting to the president and what he said about them, because all he said was through a tweet, right?
I think it was through a tweet.
Yeah, a horrifying tweet.
And then 3 of the former presidents, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Obama, came together to start a fund as well, to help all these, Puerto Rico. And it's just like...
And Puerto Rico's not the only island that was devastated.
Yeah, or the Caribbean. I mean, it's a...
But we keep thinking about Puerto Rico because that's...
Yeah.
That's where we're hearing them. And that's the people I know are in, I know people that are there or who have family there. And at the same time, we have our neighbors, Mexico,
earthquakes, yeah.
Over 300 people died in earthquakes, and they've made no effort to go help. When Harvey hit Houston and the Gulf Coast, I mean, you started almost immediately seeing the convoys of supplies and volunteers coming up from Mexico to help.
Yeah, and
there's been no reciprocation.
Of course there's not, because he just wants to build a wall,
We can... It's so easy to sit here and be furious about it and talk about what assholes these people are, what an asshole our president, so-called president is. But I keep wondering, what can we do?
Yeah.
I'm not Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
I don't have a plane, or I'm not one of the players. I can't do that. I can't paddle over there and help clean things up. What can we do?
Right.
What
And the
can we
one
do?
thing that concerns me is when, let's just say, in this batch of hurricanes, this is very rare. It's usually one big hurricane, and then everyone gives as much as they can. So everyone, has given a lot, and even the people who don't have a lot of extra to give, they probably gave all of that to this one hurricane, and then little did they know that there were like 3 others heading their way, and now it's like
earthquakes. And,
I'm sure some of that has something to do with it as well.
Well, has maybe for us as individuals, what we can and can't give, it shouldn't have anything to do with the response from our government.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's a really good question. I think, what can we do? And I think part of me says, speak your outrage. I think using your voice and telling, the president, tweeting to him, calling your Congress people, and using your voice to say that you're outraged. And then, if donating if you can, or getting together a group. I just feel like there are little things that we can do that will help propel a bigger movement forward.
Well, someone on our Facebook page commented, Carl Smith says, I wonder why we aren't sending the drivers they need.
I don't know, Carl. I've been asking that question.
Yeah.
I mean, don't we have military on the ground there? Why are they just? I think we have military.
I think
people.
they're just
Can they
waiting
not drive a
on-
damn truck?
I think they're just
Hell,
waiting
I'll
on
go
Trump.
drive a truck.
Trump to give the word. I think it all comes down to, the military can't do anything without their commander in chief, and that kind of executive order, the approval and all that. And so he's not giving the word to send aid, to Puerto Rico or to Mexico or, all these people. And so they're not, that would almost be treasonistic if
because he's also busy condemning the NFL and that's what he's busy on. Those are his concerns right now.
Oh, and bragging about the S&P 500.
Yeah, I wrote about this in the Trending Tea column.
Yes,
and I really feel like it's all connected. I think that the reason why he's not sending aid to Puerto Rico and to Mexico is because he doesn't like black people. He doesn't like, and brown people. He does not like people of color. It's all connected. So he's focusing on the NFL because the people that are protesting are of color. And it's directly affecting what he's not doing in his lack of inaction in sending aid in Puerto Rico and Mexico. So it's all connected. So all these people, it pisses me off when people say, stop talking about it, but it's all connected. You have to see how it all connects together.
And it seems like everyone knows that it's connected, and everyone's talking about how it's connected, except for them.
Except for
at the
him.
Very top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have a friend named Kieran McCrocklin who
Mark Cuban did fly. He gave his private jet to JJ Barea, and they flew supplies over to Puerto Rico. So yes, he did.
Drivers, I don't know.
I don't know about drivers.
I don't know
though.
what the rules are that they're would require of the drivers. What kind of vehicle? I mean, I go drive an SUV, but I'm not sure they want me driving an 18-wheeler around Puerto Rico.
And then if we drove to Mexico, would we be able to get back? You're sending aid. I probably wouldn't. Yeah, they would probably make us stay. They'd be like, "I'm sorry, yeah, we're gonna need you to see 8 passports, draw some blood. Yeah, I need
closed-toed shoes."
Exactly.
Well, I think I really am happy when the popular celebrities speak up, because unfortunately that's when a lot of people listen. So with J-Lo and all of these other people, and Mark Cuban, with their names on there, people know, oh, this is a serious thing. We have to go do something about it. And it's reminding me again, going back to the 80s with the AIDS crisis thing, where the Reagans were just kind of pretending, oh, it's just the gay people. We're super conservative. We're Republican, and they're gay people. They're sinners. Yeah. So yes, 15 million have died, but we're not going to talk about it on TV. We're going to look this way. It's giving me that same vibe.
Until Rock Hudson.
Yeah.
Right.
Until they were forced.
Friend.
Yeah.
It's not real until it's your friend and your people.
And so I'm wondering if that's what it's going to take. Is it going to take something happening to one of, Trumpet's, people, or, people close to him or his supporters, for him to actually go?
He wouldn't care. I don't think he would give a rat's ass.
I don't think he would either, but I'm just...
You're hoping?
No, I don't. I have no hope left over on him. I just don't.
Well, one of the things that we have to do is keep talking about it. And I have a friend named Kieran McCrocklin who, it was still raining. The storm was still in Houston, still in the Gulf Coast. And she's like, I can't sit here. I got to do something. And she started a GoFundMe. And as soon as she would get money in, she would take that money and she'd buy supplies, and they were ferrying it back and forth. She got somebody to donate a little boat and took it down there so people could use it.
Yeah.
You know? So she got up and started doing things. And when she's talking about Harvey and she's talking about what's going on in Puerto Rico, and she gets mad, she got mad because y'all quit paying attention to what's going on in the NFL. It's a distraction. It's all a distraction from something else, something bigger, something more important. And I would not be surprised if there's something that he's trying to keep us from paying attention to. Mm-hmm. But it's like I told Karen, we have to be able to look at all of it at once because it truly is all important and it is all connected.
It's all connected. Like the people sitting down in restaurants are connected to the MLK and Malcolm. It's all connected, and it's all these mini movements that create the bigger revolution and these bigger changes. And so you can't look at this and say the NFL it's distracting.
It's not important.
It's not important,
important
because it is important, because in the grander, it's that movement clinched with. I mean, look how far it's come in just a year. I mean, you had one man, Colin Kaepernick, do it, and then now it's a huge movement, and it's going to keep building. It's a piece of the whole.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. Y'all come back.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, we're back, and my headphones are acting a mess. Hang on. There we go.
There you go.
We are back, and now I can hear. So we're gonna keep talking a little bit about the NFL, and I mean, everybody's talking about the protest and why are they protesting, and is it disrespectful to our military, the people who have fought and died? And obviously, it's important to them, but then you have people like the grandfather, the World War II vet, and the widow,
Yeah.
who are like, no, this is what they fought and died for, and that's why we're here. But I think for me,
I should have silenced my phone.
She's real busy too.
I'm just sloppy
You are
today.
real
What is
sloppy.
going on?
It's all that Taco
Today.
Bell.
That Taco Bell.
he's sloppy today. But anyway, I mean, I'm thinking maybe instead of just discussing again about what's going on and why it's going on, we've talked that a lot. Let's talk about what it's doing to us and our interpersonal relationships. You know, there are folks in my family who are pissed as hell at me, and I'm like, I really wouldn't even be an asshole. I'm
You're
just
like, this
you
isn't
sure,
even me at
Tammy?
my worst.
Are you
I wasn't
sure,
even
Tammy?
being
This isn't
radical.
me at the radical.
Yeah.
You know, and then but it's all, you know, and there are folks like, well, you know, how do we fix this? That was the question. What do we do? I don't want to argue about it. I want you to tell me something productive that we can do. My answer was, okay, well, first of all, we have to admit what the problem is and why it's there. And then we have to start learning to actually interact with people who are different and who disagree, but do it in a productive and a polite and courteous way. And I guess they thought I was being an asshole. Not like that's
Because
I
you
have-
Foreign. Yeah, that's not like it's a foreign.
Because you didn't
attribute
agree
to
with
you.
them.
yeah.
Okay.
So, but it wasn't that I just was disagreeing so much. They knew I was going to disagree, but I guess they thought I was doing it in a confrontational way, and I was trying not to. But then, you know, there are a lot of people. One of the things that somebody said, well, you volunteer through your church and you do this, and I'm like, you know, I admire you and respect you for putting your action behind what you say with your church and your religion. And I might not agree with your religion or your particular denomination or whatever, but you're walking your walk, and I admire that. But you know, you go into these programs with your church or with something that you do a lot, and there's a kind of a comfort bubble around you because you have that known with you. Step outside of that bubble and interact. Find a way to interact with them that's not something that's going to take you out of that comfort zone. That's something that you're not normally going to do. Instead of, for me, and I didn't say this because I was trying not to be an asshole, but, you know, a lot of people, it's like, I talked to a lot of people of color who opposed Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary because they saw, and I guess it was mostly black people that I heard talking about this, that I'd have conversations with, and they didn't like Bernie Sanders. And I think part of it, from what they told me, is because they saw him as yet just another white man coming in telling them how
that
they
was
needed
one of
to
my
do it.
that was one of my reasons. Like,
Another
he just sounded
old
like
white man
another old white man shaking
you
his
on your head.
finger at me and telling me that
This
it's
is how
not
we're
a
gonna do
I can't.
it.
I'm done with that.
It was
Exactly.
more like, this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah. And people of color don't need white people telling them how to make.
Bernie's different
Pretty?
though.
No.
When you hear him talk, then you're like, oh.
no,
I don't like him.
I
What?
do not like him.
Oh my God,
I am
love
not a
him.
Bernie fan at all.
Yeah.
I was
I was
not
gonna
either
vote for
because I
him.
had that feeling.
Uh-huh.
They don't need you to come in here and tell them how to be black.
And I also
or
feel
brown.
like I feel that way also because I'm a woman as well.
Possibly
like
so.
I feel like it's because I'm a brown female as well. And as a woman, I've had so many men try to tell me what to do in my life that I don't want to see another one.
So and that was kind of, I understand that, and that's kind of my feeling. But I was thinking, these folks don't necessarily need you to come in and give them a peanut butter jelly sandwich with a Bible verse in it.
Yeah.
You know, they need a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Give them that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I understand that part of the Christian religion is that you testify in a way, but I think your testimony needs to be in your actions and less in your words.
It's like Joel Osteen, when he had all the, evacuees there, he was passing around the little bowl with money to them as well. I think
taking up a collection.
Yeah, taking up a collection with the people that were there, that didn't have anything. Yeah. And so I kind of feel like it's that same.
These people, and it's like, it gets to be a little patronizing. I'm going to be a mentor. I think that's a great thing, but don't be patronizing about it. Here, I'm going to help you, but I'm going to do it through my, with this religious message attached to it.
Yeah.
I don't need you to speak
with
to
this
God
agenda.
for me.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
do
what
it
I
Josh,
would,
yeah.
what I would tell them is if you are wanting to be a mentor, Mr. Christian or Miss Christian, the test is ask them, like for me to ask them, are they being a mentor? They're going to say yes or no. If you think you're helping by you're throwing out all these verses, ask them. So is this person helping? No, they're making it more difficult. Okay, well then you're not helping. It's not for you to decide if you're helping. Ask them if they feel like they're being helped.
Yeah, and do it without the agenda. I mean, I don't need you, God, in my government.
Yeah.
And you need to have that. Is that mine? That's not mine.
Mm-mm.
God should be in your heart. That's where you carry God. And your testimony as a Christian should be in your behavior. And I mean, it tells you this in the Bible, right? It tells you separation of church and state is in the Bible. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar, render unto God what is God's. That's what Jesus said. And people who make a big deal about all of the church work they do, again, I think they're violating what Jesus told them. He said, don't stand on the street corner. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little evangelical myself. He said, don't stand
Even
on
your
the street.
twang's coming out.
Don't stand on the street corner and preach. You pray, and you don't pray on the street corners. You're just, one of the most poetic things I've ever said, he said, they're on the outside, they're like the tombs on the hill, because on the outside, they're all whitewashed and pretty, and they're very righteous, and inside, they're just full of dead men's bones.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of that, and I'm not criticizing people who do things with their church, because they're doing something.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, and I respect that, and I admire that. They are out there. But understand that maybe other people aren't going to receive it as well.
Yeah.
And it's not just about religion. It's about whatever you're doing. Try to find a different way to interact outside what you're used to doing.
They need to stop talking and start listening.
Yeah.
Is what
All
I think
of
they
us,
need
I
to do.
think, should do that, except on this show, because then that'd be really boring. We're just going to all sit here and wait for somebody to say something to us. That wouldn't work. Oh, and it's this humidity, y'all. The whole air is just moist in here. It's
Mhm.
just
It
making me
is.
sweat.
My hands are sweaty and moist. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
And that's a disgusting word, isn't it?
That's one of my favorite words.
I knew it
have
would
no
be.
problem with that word moist. I think it's a great word. I don't understand what's wrong with
It's the way it sounds.
moist.
There's an artist. She's from Austin. She's a drag queen. Her name is Christine. She's one of my favorite performers. And her tour is called America's Moist Wanted.
Oh, I love
I'm
that.
like,
Yeah,
perfect. I love it.
I don't have any
She's a
problems
sick and
with
twisted
moist.
individual, but that's her persona.
People say that, and I see so many people, they sit here, they just, ugh. It's just something, it's like languages.
Oh.
You can tell somebody, go to hell, fuck you, asshole. But if you say it like in Italian or you say it in French, they're all like, oh yeah. But then you tell them I love you and you're the most wonderful person in the world and say it in German and they're like, you ever notice that?
It's true though.
Certain languages, certain words, I guess. Okay, well, we have to go. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap it up in a minute. So y'all come back. We're back. We're back for our last 2 minutes. And somebody pointed out to us via the website that we haven't talked about Will and Grace. I don't think you have seen it yet.
Not the new one.
Yeah, you didn't see last night's episode, and we're not even going to ask Brandy about it because we're just not. We'll talk about it after people have had a chance. Because she's just so
Spoiler
radical.
alert.
Yeah.
Just one of those radical brown people.
I know, damn those
Just can't
Latina
tell him to
lesbians.
see. You know what?
I
She
know.
probably knelt down in front of the TV and turned her back when
You
Will
know
and
what?
Grace was
I
on.
probably did. You'll never know.
So we have just a little over a minute here to wrap it up, and I'm going to ask Israel,
Yes.
wrap up for me, baby.
Yeah, well, I want to let everyone know that we here at Spayse Studios are about to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So we are going to have a big celebration next month, Friday the 13th, starting at 7:30. We're going to have live performances. We're going to have a show in here that's going to be live. We're just going to bring people in from the party.
Zombies.
We're going to have zombies. I'm going to be Freddy Krueger, by the way.
I'm going to be there too.
Yeah. And so anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody it's free. We're going to have free food. We're going to have booze. We're going to have live performances, and it's free, so there's no excuse to not come.
Oh, so we don't have to bring our own bottle?
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
You might as well just pitch me up like a tent or somewhere.
Yeah.
So I can just sleep in.
I
I'll
might
sleep in
have
while
one
I tenant.
already.
Here we go, pitching tents.
So that's all.
All right,
That's super fun.
Thanks.
your turn.
Oh, Brandy Marsky, you can find my latest column for the Dallas Voice Trending Tea at dallasvoice.com. And that's about all.
BET? No?
Oh, and I write for BET in case
And don't you
didn't
have
know.
a podcast or something?
I do. I actually have 2 podcasts in the works. One
Good
of them is called
gracious.
Defy, and the other one is called the Drag Show Podcast. And that's the first time I said it out loud.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, y'all.
Yes.
So, and I'm Tammy Nash. I'm the managing editor for Dallas Voice, and obviously I have a foul mouth. And I don't watch my language very well. But go to our website, dallasvoice.com, read our blog. There's a piece from a young woman in Puerto Rico. Find the schedule for Dallas Southern Pride. And I'm going to go home and start looking up all the Johnson & Johnson vaccine information
do.
and get that stuff online as soon as I can. So we will be here next Friday, same time, same channel.
Same bat station.
That's
same
us.
bat
Yay.
Batshit crazy.
That too.
channel. Same batshit craziers.
We're going to be here. So y'all come back and watch us online. Send us messages. Tell us what you want to know.
Yep.
All right?
Bye.
Thank
Have a
y'all.
good
Bye.
weekend.
Have
Bye.
a great weekend.